Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and today I want to talk about the Big Rock riser, or a problem the customers had with the Big Rock riser. This is a Big Rock riser. It's an international fitting limb riser, so the limbs clip in, you can adjust the poundage. It's affordable. The riser, the whole bow sells for about $200. That means the riser's worth about $80 for an international fitting riser. It's super cheap. Comes in black, bright blue, bright red. Now, let's compare it. This is a Delta riser, so this is from Win & Win. Now, this riser sells for about $250, $280, $80, $280, $80. Now, I've had problems with these as well. So when I say I've had problems with these, I had a customer I sold one of these to, brand new, and they said the handle was a bit sticky. So here's what it is. So the Win & Win riser is a sticky handle. This is like a hard plastic riser, so there's no way this handle's going to be sticky. So I sold this bow to a customer, so I'm pretty sure I sold it. So lady came in for a 9-year-old boy and looked at all the bows. I'm pretty sure I sold it. I sell lots of bows. But anyway, so generally when we sell a bow here, they would have had a budget of like $200 for a bow, and then that would have got some arrows and a finger tab, okay, and a basic $20 sight. So I'm guessing they spent under $300 on a setup, right? So they would have shot the bow here and off they went. So I get this message from her. So it's been about 2 weeks. She said, my son shot the bow once at the local archery club. So that's okay. Okay, shot once at the local archery club. He pulls the bow out from under his bed, and the riser looks like this. So I've got all these pictures, so hopefully I've got pictures up. Now you'll see massive amounts of like corrosion or something is happening on the paint. So now there's some sort of magnesium in this riser and some sort of aluminium. So something is happening chemically in this riser. Now, the first thing I looked at was the massive amounts of rust on the sight limb bolts. Now, you'll know I live next to the sea. My shop is next to the sea. We're literally 200 meters away from the sea. Sea causes lots of rust. So if you're going to get corrosion, it's going to be here. Now, I leave my bows outside. My bows are outside my house. I shoot them every day. I checked all my bows and I don't get rust like this, and it's like 2 weeks old. Massive amounts of rust, and something's happened. And she also said, look, the arrow rest fell off the bow, so we pulls the bow out underneath the bed. She showed me pictures of the box where it's packed away, and the arrow rest fell off, but you can still see all the double-sided tape on the riser. Now, as a shop, as an owner, you go, look, it's been 2 weeks. I don't understand how the RS falls apart. I don't understand how the RS comes off. I do understand how an RS comes off. And there's a couple of ways an RS can come off. But there's lots of stuff here to process, right? Because clearly you do not pull out a bow and suddenly all there's corrosion on it and the RS has suddenly just fallen off. The RS would have fallen off through either massive amounts of moisture, where the adhesion from the metal plate on the riser, I haven't seen the back of the arrow rest, I've only seen the arrow rest in bits, or there's no adhesion to the riser itself. Now, as a shop owner, this then creates lots of issues. Do you then get the person to stick their own arrow rest on and say, well, end of the problem, because now it's yours? And I've had this exact problem with arrow points, where I stick in the arrow points for people and one of the points come out and the person goes, well, you've got to replace the point because the point came out and you stuck it in. I go, well, guess what? I just won't stick in points anymore. You've got to stick them in now. When you lose a point, you've got to thing. So now you've got to buy glue, you've got to buy the points, and you've got to buy a dozen, right? So as soon as you do stuff and stuff goes wrong, then you're responsible for it. Now, if I set up the bow, and I think I did set up this bow, I don't know why I would have put that arrow rest on. Because the problem with that arrow rest, if the arrow hits the bow, the riser, so if the arrow is not tuned 100%, that little wire is going to kick out because the arrow is going to strike and it's going to kick out. It's been a problem with that arrow rest. So it's a toe point arrow rest. It's a problem. Now, if the arrow is not tuned properly, if you've got like a rest, like a Shibuya rest with a little wire, the rest will bend down, and then people go, look, the wire is faulty, you owe me a new $50 arrow rest. No, the bow's just not tuned. Okay? So I tend to stick a stick-on arrow rest on because it makes it easier. I cut the little flippy thing off. Okay, so that's the first thing on the rest. So I've got a cold question with the rest coming off. I don't know how it came off. I don't know if it was when the kid was shooting the bow that the arrows are not correct. Because again, I don't know if it's a bow I sold or what. So it could be the arrows are actually hitting the rest, causing the rest to fall off. But they said the rest came off when it was packed away and it was just in bits, which makes no sense to me. Now I've got the second problem. I've got a second problem with corrosion on the riser, right? So the first thing I did was when I saw this, I went and checked all my risers because I was like, well, if your riser's got corrosion and it hasn't been in the rain, because they said it hasn't been in the rain or anything, then all my risers must be corroding. Now this riser, this is the same riser. This riser has been in my shop for probably a year. So if there was going to be any corrosion, it would have been happening. Now, I do get corrosion from these risers, that's the first thing. So with the bright red and blue paint, I have seen marks under the riser, but nothing to this extent. But this is low cost, so it's about an $80 riser. What else are you going to buy for $80? $280, $80. What are you going to do, you know? And I have had complaints with these. So then it's like, well, what do I do? Do I not sell those because people go, that handle's sticky? And this is the whole problem when you talk, you know, budget, an $80 riser versus a $280 riser versus a $700 riser versus a $1,000 riser. How much do you want to spend? Okay, so my next problem is the corrosion on the riser. How did it occur? Was it dropped in a pool? I don't know. But the kid's got a problem, and what do I do to fix it? Now you could say, well, you just send him out another riser. So send him out another riser, problem fixed. But the problem is not fixed with that because the bow's got to be set up. If the bow's not set up, so let's say the arrow rest came off due to a tuning issue, due to the arrow hitting the riser, it's going to happen again. So I'm going to be stuck in that same problem. Now, when you sell an $80 riser, you make about $10. So I've already done my dough on this sale, right? And I would have spent an hour to 2 hours selling this bow. So I've already done my money. I haven't made any money on the sale of this product, in which case it's not worth selling this product. So I contacted the supplier, the manufacturer of this bow, and I send them the pictures with all the corrosion, and I'm like, this is 2 weeks old, have a look at it. They claim it hasn't been in the rain, they can claim it's just been shot once and been packed away, and this is the way it looks like. And they're like, we've never seen anything like that. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do? And they're like, we'll get back to you. And of course they haven't got back to me, right? So I'm stuck with this unhappy customer. Unhappy customers seem to be my thing at the moment. So what do I do? Now the problem is with giving them another one of these risers, like this one, is they're going to have the same problem. Whatever caused that corrosion is going to cause it again. So it's like my mate with the clicker. Clicker snaps. If I give him another clicker, it's going to snap again. And I'm now, instead of being out of pocket $50, I'm going to be out of pocket $100, and it's going to keep recurring. Right? So then it's like, well, do I just give you your money back? Do I just go, look, have your $200 back and just buy stuff elsewhere? Right? Now, they're not going to be happy with that because literally we're the only archery shop in the state. They can buy online, but they're going to have the same problems of setup and all that sort of stuff. In which case, the kid will give up the sport. All right. And I mean, my mate up the road is going to say he's got an archery shop, but look, honestly, you do not sell any $80 bows, so like, why am I even having this conversation? In fact, you don't even sell a $500 bow, so let's just, $200 budget on a bow. So are we talking just, if you get a wood bow, maybe you buy a wooden riser bow with screw-in limbs and then nothing can corrode because it's wood. Maybe. So that's where we're up to. I don't have a solution. And literally people go, well, how many of these things do you deal with a day? Oh, so many. So many of these things where people pull out the bow from under the bed and the bow's exploded. It's like, or people have brought their bow elsewhere, not off us, overseas, and the bow's exploded, and they're like, but you're a distributor, so you should fix it for us. And we're like, I'm not fixing your bow because you brought it overseas. They're like, whoa! And then, I get pages of abuse. Look, I don't know the solution. I've racked my brains. I do not have a solution. I don't know how the mass corrosion occurred, how the rust in the limb bolts occurred, how the RS fell off. Do not know. I've been selling archery gear for 40 years. I've never seen anything like it, which is why I thought, well, I'll do a video on it because it's pretty interesting how a bow corrodes in 2 weeks. Now, I do have chemistry. I've done 2 years of chemistry at university. So I do have the basic idea of how, things interact. There's been some chemical process to cause oxidization of this material inside. I don't know what it was, what caused it, but I know if I give it again, it will occur again. Now, just on that thing, because I'm like, well, maybe the rain caused it, because I obviously shoot in the rain. I hate shooting in the rain, but I obviously shoot in the rain. And when you shoot in the rain, you should go home, dry your gear, because you don't want to pack it away wet, because otherwise you do get these problems occur, right? So when I shoot in the rain, I go home, I do not pack away my bow, I let it dry. So I dry it off. Okay, so maybe this bow just was shot in the rain, it wasn't thing, and then it corroded all inside. Highly likely. Anyway, this bow, it was pouring with rain yesterday. So what did? I put this bow in the rain. I left it out in the rain all day. Then I brought it in, and I was like, well, maybe it will corrode, and nothing. No signs of any corrosion, no signs of any rust, no signs of anything. And we are next to the thing, so we'd have plenty of salt and stuff, and it's the same riser. So anyway, I have no idea. I don't know what to do. Like I said, it's an $80 riser. Limbs are obviously okay. I don't know what the arrows are. I haven't seen a copy of the receipt yet. Maybe that's coming. And when you do a warranty thing to a shop or whoever, send them all the information, because otherwise, I don't have a copy of the receipt, so I don't know what they brought. I don't know what arrows they brought. I don't know if it's a kid I served or someone else in my shop served it. Maybe the bow wasn't set up correctly. And I'm going to say most or all my staff are archers, and they're all pretty good archers. They're all at state or national level, so they're pretty good shots. And lots of them are a lot better shot than I am. So, and they all know how to set up their gear. So maybe it wasn't set up correctly. I don't know. The thing is, it's how do I fix this problem? And they don't want to drive down because they're 2 hours drive away. So it's and the thing is, you can't fix this unless you drive down, because you've got to have the bow all reset up again. And I don't even know how you fix it. So at the moment, we're just waiting for Jung Sing, the makers of this, to get back to us, and they won't get back. So maybe you sell something and say, look, just letting you know there's no warranty with this because it's cheap, it's a clearance item, and if something happens, it's just your thing. I have sold a heap of them. I haven't had any problems. So anyway, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Thanks for watching.